Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the craft store. It's that time again. We've got a brand new one-day special. That means we've got a wonderful guest with us as well. It's all about simplicity. We've got all sorts of wonderful rulers and templates for you as well. We've got the most amazing samples, but best of all, we have Jennie here as well. A very good evening,
Catherine,
Jennie.
you are so kind. Good evening to everybody. We've got, as Catherine says, we've got some fabulous things. I shan't tell you what they're going to be. I shall let her tell you.
Oh, well, we're starting with the one-day special. This is a great bundle, actually. This is well worth every penny. Let's have a look what we've got here, because we've got the Bobbin Winder. This is your side winder, portable Bobbin Winder. What a clever idea. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you can see the details for the Bobbin Winder on its own at £19.99. That has already got a £2 saving on it, but look at the one-day special price. You're not just getting the Bobbin Winder, which is a penny less, you're also getting this beautiful Simplicity bag pattern bundle. And I've got to say, Jennie, I did say this before the hour, I love this pattern.
Yes, I thought there were some really good bags. In fact, I was hard-pressed to know which one I'd make up. And then I thought, I haven't got time, so I failed at making them up. But it's easy to follow. They are for any age, any ability, as long as you can sew, hopefully a straightish line. I thought there were some really clever bag patterns on there, because you can do them in any fabric. I like the way that the handles were put on there. The fact you've got a very small sort of pochette, you've got a tiny weeny purse one, you've got various different styles of bags. They can be clasped, you know, have those magnetic clasps on them. No, I thought really good and easy to use. You know, we all know how to use dress patterns. This is a bag pattern. You know, lay it on there, cut round it, seam allowances are all included, off you go.
And Simplicity, the name of the brand here, Jennie, I mean, it takes me straight back to when I was much smaller. My mum used to do a lot of sewing. She's got so many Simplicity patterns. Yes. We're going to see much more of kind of the vintage feel of the Simplicity as we go through. But, do you know, straight away for the one-day special, look at it again, £19.98. 1 pence cheaper than the Bobbin Winder in its own, and you're going to get that bag pattern as well. 118705 is the item number. Over on the website, we've got loads for you, and I mean loads. We can't go through everything down the counter. We've got EZ Quilting templates. We've got all sorts of beautiful Simplicity items, as I have described to you there as well. We've got 1 or 2 surprise items, I think, on this show as well. We've got 5-star reviews there as well. But we want to know more about the equipment we've got, so do be shopping ahead on the website. Make sure you get lots in your basket and check those out. Do you know, if you're looking for giftables, especially when it comes to Simplicity, we have got those for you as well. The vintage sewing room planner, we will have a look at that. Really great idea. There's stickers and all sorts that you can use with that as well. We've got DVDs, we've got books as well. Look, more 5-star reviews for you there. We have got lots of lovely samples to show, but you know, we want to get to Jennie as quickly as possible and hear about some of these wonderful things that we've got on offer tonight. Jennie, you've got the Bobbin Winder.
Yes, I've got the Bobbin Winder here, because this is one of the things that is absolutely essential, that you wind your bobbin correctly, Catherine.
Of course, yeah.
You know, if your machine bobbin is not wound properly, your machine will not work. All right. The other thing you need to be aware of, and I'm going to talk to the viewers out there, because so many of you in the classes do the mistake of putting the wrong bobbin inside your machine. Okay. If your machine comes with certain bobbins, they are the bobbins that fit in your machine. And it's no good saying, oh, my machine doesn't work. And I look inside it to discover you've got a Singer bobbin inside an Elna machine. So please, please, the other little thing to be aware of is if your machine comes with plastic bobbins, you should stick with plastic bobbins. If it comes with metal bobbins, you should stick with metal bobbins, all right? Right, let's have a look at bobbins and how the side winder works and why it is so important. Right, first of all, just to talk to you a little bit about bobbins. Or more about bobbins rather. When I opened my side winder, I thought, right, I'm going to wind every single different sort of bobbin that I've got. So you have here, this is an ancient Singer bobbin. This is actually, in fact, a newer version of the same Singer version bobbin, but it's in plastic. So it wound an ancient Singer. I then wound a, let's find the brother bobbin. Where's the brother bobbin gone to? That was a brother bobbin, which has a slightly blue cast to it and it's got actually a letter B on it. Then I wound a Janome bobbin. This is very often a generic bobbin for quite a lot of different machines. I then wound a very small, and this is an old, ancient, again, another Singer bobbin. This one happens to be, where's the Elna bobbin? Oh no, that was an Elna bobbin, sorry about that. This is a generic bobbin for a lot of metal machines that have metal bobbins in them. And there is a Bonina bobbin. Now you can use some of these in a Bonina, they don't always sew properly. I cannot stress enough, you must have the right sort of bobbin. I even tried winding on one of those card bobbins.
Oh wow.
So it wound all those bobbins. Right, what sort of thread does it use? You can use any kind of thread you like. So variety of threads here. Other manufacturers do exist. Incidentally, if you want to keep your thread from unwinding, those hair things you get cheap
That's a
from
good
sort of the
idea.
pound shop are quite good for wrapping around them. So any of these threads would work. How you actually do it is you open the box and please remove the tab that's on the batteries. It won't work without.
Oh, is that the tab that actually says remove before use?
It says remove before use. In actual fact, the instructions are slightly misleading because it says put the batteries in, but they have put the batteries in for you, but remove the tab because nothing happens. And it takes regular basic batteries that are in there.
Fantastic.
So once you've removed the tab, it will work. To make this a little longer, to take the bigger reels, you simply extend it. And then you just pop the reel, whichever one you happen to use, on there and you wind it. Now this is fine. I thought, well, that's all right, but I use an awful lot of these big cones. It's cheap, it's cheerful. My machine doesn't mind sewing with a straw. Some of you will throw up your hands in horror and say, oh my goodness me, my machine doesn't use that sort of thread. This obviously doesn't fit on there. So how do you get over that problem? And the answer is you need a bottle, okay? A bottle with the bottom cut off. All right?
Oh,
You cannot
Jennie,
do
you
it
are
with a bottle
clever.
with the bottom there. All you have to do then is put the bottle over the thread, but you've got to get the thread through the top of the bottle, which is where, say, a hair grip or a safety pin or a large fat needle comes in very useful, because if you simply drop the safety pin through the hole there, you can then upend the bottle and it's on top of the cone.
Do you know, I've been racking my brains as to what you're going to use that bottle for.
See?
And that
Once
was
you have
not
done
one of
that-
the things I thought of.
Once you have done that, you can then wind your bobbins from this. Now, I think the only slight drawback to this machine, if I'm truly honest, is the little clip here. You have to actually thread the thread through. Now, if you're finding it difficult to see that, but it is quite a large clip, it's just simply put the thread on a nice big needle and pass it through the loop. Okay, okay. So I'm going to have to peer at it because the lighting in the studio is not
Could
good.
you use a
That's a needle thread. Anyway, I mean, it's a jolly big
Threader.
loop. So once you pass the thread through that, it is nothing more complex than taking it round that little white knob at the end there and then round your bobbin. Now I've got a Husqvarna bobbin on here now, which I haven't actually tried winding. It does have a nice neat arrow round there to show you which way to wrap the thread round. Now I am not a fan of spending hours trying to poke the thread through that little hole because it takes ages and ages and ages, and I will just wrap it round several times and then cut the excess thread off. So I'm afraid that,
be fair,
again, you can
Jennie,
throw up your hands in horror.
To be fair,
Oh, yes.
if you can thread your sewing machine, you can thread that easily.
Yes, of course you can do. Right, shut up the spindle there and then just put your finger on the bobbin. And it winds. And it will wind from a big cone, a little reel of thread. It will wind from these really small, perhaps you've got some inexpensive reels of thread you've got in a packet from somewhere. Because I closed up this little white handle here, it will now stop when the bobbin is full. If I wish to stop it beforehand and not fill the bobbin up, I simply take the pressure off and just move that little lever away. So this will continue winding until it is actually full, and then it will turn itself off.
That is so clever.
So I now have a perfectly wide... Now you say, why do you want a bobbin winder when you've got one on your machine? The number of times your bobbin runs out down the bottom, or in my case, I often use a bobbin on the top because I might be using some sort of thread. And then you've got to get the thread, undo this and undo that. This just sits beside you and you use it. The other problem is many sewing machines, and I won't name any makes, often don't wind the bobbin properly. And if your bobbin is not wound really tight and absolutely level, your machine will not perform properly. It is so, so, so important. I cannot stress it. The number of times in class we have a problem and I say your bobbin's not wound properly, or you've got the wrong bobbin in the machine. So machines have bobbins that are wound properly will work properly. All right, I hope you've got that message. It is actually quite important. Therefore, one of these things beside you is great because A, it winds bobbins while you're busy sewing because you don't have to do anything to it. It will wind it itself, turn itself off. B, if your machine is faulty at winding bobbins, then this will do the job for you. So there you go, Catherine. I think it's something.
Do you know, already so interesting, Jenny. And what I will say as well is, because, do you know, I've learned, I did know there was different size bobbins. I knew there was different sizes, but I didn't know there was quite so many. And if you change your machine at any point as well, you don't have to worry about that with your bobbin winder, because it's still going to work even if the bobbins that you've got in your new machine have changed. We are very busy with this. I'm not surprised. 20% of the one-day special has already gone. You are not just getting the bobbin winder. That individually is £19.99. We're offering you the one-day special at £19.98. You're also going to get the Simplicity pattern. I absolutely love those bags on there. You've got all sorts of size projects on there. You've got full-size patterns with seam allowances. Absolutely beautiful. Simplicity is a name. You know, we've talked about vintage things coming up as well. If you know anything about sewing, you only have to say Simplicity and you know the name straight away. 118705 is the item number. Brand new today, of course, for the one-day special. We are very busy on that. Now, we are going to see some more items. We're going to go down the counter. I've got some beautiful samples to show you as well. When it comes to templates, we've got some stunners for you. Now here, look at the saving on this one, £10 saving. For just £20.98, you can get the Rounding Circles template bundle. And I believe Jenny's going to show us this very soon. Now the whole bundle there, Jenny, what a great price that is.
It's an absolutely cracking price. Now, if you're going to do a Dresden plate of any sort, or even a grandmother's fan, which the Dresden plate lends itself to, you are going to need either a circle or a quarter circle in the middle. And you have the tools to do it. You could also take that circle cutter and just cut out circles and applique them down. This was me just saying, why don't I cut out lots of different circles, bond them down, and then I can embellish them with some of the threads, which of course I can easily use because I can now fill my bobbin with my bobbin winder.
Love it, love it. Do you know, we've got another sample here as well. I'm going to bring this one in because, of course, on this cushion you can see the circle in the centre there as well.
And that's your Dresden
beautiful
plate. So that's the Dresden plate on that one.
Oh, that's is the circle not been used for the centre of there?
Yeah, the circle's been used centre of that
for the
one,
yes,
because
so
you've got to have a circle.
apply, yeah.
And the one thing about it, Catherine, again, people don't do this, is if your Dresden plate, say, or any of the designs that require a circle in the middle, like a mariner's compass, if that circle's not round, your piece of work will look awful. If the circle is round, the fact that perhaps you weren't quite as accurate as you'd like to be on some of the others doesn't notice, because the brain sees a round circle. So it doesn't look for anything else. But if your circle's not round, the brain says, that's not a bit funny. What else is a bit funny?
Yes.
It's amazing how kidology or circleology, get it accurate, actually will win you the day.
Oh, well, go for this. Well, we've got that offer on there as well. £10 saving, 110679. Now, the next item, we've got Flowery Forms for you. I've got some more samples to show you as well here. Details coming up for this one. Another great price. We're not far off half price on that, really, when you think about it. £8 saving, just £9.98 for both of these templates. It's one bundle, you're getting this all together. So tell us about this one then, Jenny.
Okay, you have there the 45-degree triangle, which very often makes a block that's known as kaleidoscope. The 45-degree triangle is also being used for that orange, browny, creamy quilt that everyone can see over your shoulder. So it's the same template being used there. In addition to having that particular template, we've also got the petal pattern. And the petal pattern is an 8-petal shape, but you could use 2 of them and make a very nice heart. You could fussy cut it. You can use it with stripy fabric. As you can see, I fussy cut that. Very careful to alternate my stripes, so I didn't have to match anything up. I go for an easy option. The petal pattern can be used in a variety of sizes, from very small to very large. It's a great bundle if you are perhaps wanting to start patchwork and you do a couple of very simple designs. You've got 2 completely different designs, but actually they get sewn in the same way. So, you know, it's easy for beginners to learn how to use templates. And of course it's accurate, and of course they're multi-size.
Love it. Well, it's a great bundle. It's an even better price, £9.98. Grab yours today while we've got the stock, 904779. Now, the next one, we've got the curly whirly for you. Sounds intriguing. I've got another sample to show you here as well. Absolutely wonderful bundle again, Jenny. In fact, this one, if I dare say it, is slightly less than half price. We've got some great prices on this show. £13 saving, £12.98 on this one. So the curly whirly, it sounds amazing. I love, isn't that fresh as well? That is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to hold it the other way up just so that,
yes,
you know, I'm not
it's a table
so
runner,
much.
Catherine. And I made it yesterday afternoon. It didn't take me very long to do it. It's a drunkard's path.
Oh, wow.
And it's using some very pretty fabric, and that's a secret because you'll have to watch tomorrow's 12 o'clock show for that. And it's a a template that will give you a curly-whirly pathway, drunkard's path, you see, wobbling your way home from too much alcohol down the pub or elsewhere.
And let's have a look at this one as
Sorry
well.
about the season, folks. I'm afraid this is a Christmas one. So this is the uneven 9 patch, which gives you ovals or half ovals, melons they're referred to. And the great thing about this is you can change the middle and that will dynamically affect the actual design. Both of them, again, are sewn in much the same way. So once you've learnt the sewing for Drunkard's Path, you can do the same sewing for the uneven 9 patch. So they've been trying to put together bundles that would actually work. So if you know how to do one, you'll know how to do the other.
Lovely. I love this one. £12.98. Take advantage again of that saving. It's massive. 329249 is your item number. Then moving on again, we've got another lovely bundle for you here as well. Let's bring the details up for this one. You've got your 60-degree diamond there. You've got your equilateral 60-degree triangle as well. Obviously, Jenny, for anybody that's, you know, quite new to quilting, we can see from the templates that the seam allowances are always taken into account, aren't they? That's why you get kind of that.
And they're all
multi-sizes,
and because they're all clear, you can fussy cut with them. Now, samples there are not only the samples on the table, but behind you, the 2 cushions on the rack behind you, the one on the top and the one below it, are actually all versions of the 60-degree diamond. So that is tumbling blocks. And then you've got tumbling blocks on the one below.
Oh, I'm going to pick the other one up as well. Look at that. I'm just going to grab the other one as well because...
Oh, be careful because the drunkard's path might fall off.
It's staying there, it's staying there. So you can see 2 different sizes. These are those that play with your eyes, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Because you can turn that every which way you like.
Let me just turn this larger one so we can see. So if I go that way...
And it's done by having a light, a dark and a medium fabric.
That is so clever, isn't it?
Yes. Baby blocks, really tumbling blocks, sometimes called. But again, you can use that as a star. I've got a star here knocking around somewhere. So you can use it in any sort of different ways you like. So they've got that one. And then now this is funny.
This is the star.
So there's a star. All right.
Let's have a look at this one. So you're using the same, from the same bundle?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And your 60-degree diamond will work with your 60-degree triangle. And you've got something again that's out of season. I apologise for this, but hey, come on,
Don't apologise, Jenny. We love to plan ahead. Let me just get this one.
Right, now there's a very funny story about this one.
Oh, this is a Christmas tree skirt.
This is a Christmas tree skirt. And I had this at a lecture and I held it up and somebody in the audience said, how do you get the Christmas tree through the hole? I fortunately was able to keep a straight face and I was able to explain very quietly, you could put it down on the floor and stand the pot on top. But I had a horrible vision of this poor lass trying, I was going to say, was it before decorating or after decorating?
Oh dear.
You see, so.
Do you know, I'm just going to fold it in half a little bit and hold it up another way, just so you can really appreciate the design.
It may also make a very good poncho.
Do you know, I was very tempted to put it on, but I thought it's going to interfere with my microphone, so I didn't. But actually, it would make a beautiful poncho. There we are. That's my Christmas outfit sorted. If you want to go for this one, again, only £9.98, £5 saving on this bundle, 121146. Right, now we're already busy for the next item. You found it already. Let's have a look at this. Now you've got 3 templates all together in this, a £10 saving. We've got savings across the board, haven't we here? So this is your Crafty Class template bundle. So the fact that we've got 3 different things here then, Jenny, what's the advantages of this one?
Right, what you've got there are the classic shapes. So you've got your strips with your mini ruler, you've got your squares with your squares, and that can be used for the square up. So you can actually center the design in that hole in the middle and square up the design. It will cut a variety of different sizes. And you've got your half square triangle. And I think the great thing about that small collection is that it will fit in any little bag. When you're allowed to go back to class, it's easily to transport. If you're thinking of starting a new hobby, you haven't got huge tools, you can quietly hide those away because not everybody wants to, you know, sometimes we have to keep things a little bit sort of undercover when we start a new hobby, else the other half or partner says, what are you doing now? So these can be concealed, all right? I didn't say that. So useful. So they are basically the building blocks of the patchwork world. You've got your strips, you've got your squares, you've got your half square triangles. Seam allowances all included, variety of multi-size tools as well.
Fantastic. £10 saving on this one, and it is very busy. 914680 is your item number. Now we've got one more. Well, this really is an essential. So if you haven't got yours yet, make sure you grab it today. Now, there's a lot going on here because we have got, let me just take this one out. Wow, £20 saving on this. I've just got some paper behind just so you can see the grid work on there as well. Obviously it's not long enough to go all the way down the ruler, but you've got your ruler here. And I know this, Jennie, you've spoken before about these particular templates, and you know, if you haven't got these are a great way to, you know, really move forward with your quilting, isn't it?
If you were starting a class with me, I would say get those. Now, not only have you got the long ruler, the 24 by 6.5 inch ruler, you've got your 12.5 inch square. You've also got a large half square triangle. So again, you've got the building blocks, the same as the smaller set, but the large ones, you know, the grandfather of the tools that you need for patchwork.
Yeah.
If you're starting off, those are the ones I would suggest you got. The other ones, the smaller ones, are equally good because they're small, easy to transport, or as I said, they're easy to tuck in a bag and pretend you haven't got them at all and just get them out when you want to start fiddling around with patchwork. But no, that to my mind is something, and the price is actually excellent.
It really is. £20 saving. You're getting an awful lot for your money here. 978747 is the item number if you want to go for your essential template bundle. Right, okay, now that's the end of the counter, but we've got so much more on the website. We seriously have got, look at the Simplicity items as well. If you're looking for gifts, there's some great giftables here. We've got picture frames, we've got beautiful tins. I mean, if you want to store your buttons or your threads or anything, you know, and you just love the theme, these are absolutely gorgeous. The Notions tins there, you've got a little magnetic sheet in those, beautiful. We've got all sorts in the way of DVDs and books for you as well, so do have a look at those. And of course, the templates we've shown you, make sure you're quick with those while we've got the savings on them as well. Don't forget, of course, this is the one-day special. I know we're very busy on the one-day special itself. In fact, a quarter of the stock has gone. Do have a look at the planner as well. I think we're going to see that with Jennie. This is such a good idea. Gorgeous. Now, if you are going for the planner, the wall planner, it does come with stickers as well. We will see more of this, as I say, with Jennie. But let's show you what you're actually getting in the bundle. This is such a good idea. I mean, I love it again because it's from Simplicity. You've got that vintage feel about it. This is not only decorative, but it's very, very useful. We've got a £15 saving, just £33.97, item number 899528. And we're having a glimpse at what Jennie's been up to with her planner as well.
Yes.
Jennie, do you want to talk us around this?
Putting my diary online. Okie dokie. This is, first of all, it can be put on any wall you like and moved, all right? And it will not damage the wallpaper, the paint, or anything like that. I had to find a big enough board to put it on so I could transport it, because sadly I can't get the wall in my car. So what you have here is a planner. And it's a planner that basically is a whiteboard, and it comes with a marker, and the marker is very easy to erase. So I have put down my month, okay? What I particularly liked about it was, A, I can read it, B, there's enough space to write all sorts of things, and C, I've got these rather nice stickers I can put on them. You see, so I've got make samples and so little time. It's a bit of fun. And then stick a pin in it, I'm done. And then 28th, strange enough, I'm here, aren't I? The craft store, 6 and 8 today, and 8, 12 and 4 tomorrow. Great reminder. It's Friday night, got to be date night.
Ooh.
Then it's visiting the grandchildren, and I had to put I drive fast and barefoot on it. And on the 2nd of May, which is Sunday, I give them back, okay? Then I had a rest day, need a rest day. Then we've got the Emsworth girls, class I teach. Got to go to the, have my eyes tested, and I should be so busy. Nothing happening on the 6th of May. I've got a landscape Zoom on the 7th of May, an evening with Wendy, a Zoom evening. And then Sunday is, you're not my cup of tea, I drink champagne, too true. 10th, 11th and 12th of May, various things. I'm starting a project then. Coming into 17th of May, I'm in the craft store again, you see, so watch this space, take a screenshot of this, and you'll know where I'm going to be. Then I'm doing something for JHO, then I got another Zoom for that, back in the craft store again, then it's a creative sewing weekend, and then ba-dum, 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 grandchildren, etc. Does running late count as an exercise? Yes, of course it does. Another girls' night out, and on the 30th of May, there's another ODS. So it's a really good reminder of what I have to do. And you get these fabulous stickers. So you can see I've used quite a lot of my stickers. So Big range of stickers on there, fabric sale patterns. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun as well as a jolly good reminder. In addition to getting these stickers, you've got laundry day, happy hour. I wasn't having happy hour this month, you see. I'd already had a girls' night out and a date night. Various other things, needles and threads, buttons, scissors. Plus, you get some wall art, which you could actually stick anywhere. And on the wall art, you have a variety of all sorts of different things that you can stick. And these are just stickers. You know, you just sort of get your fingers underneath them and peel them off. Okay, so stickers. And then you get another sheet. And this could go on your craft room door. So you've got the lovely women, are you serious, wearing that? Can you imagine it? Hey, that would look quite good for my date night. And some are just born with it. Well, naturally, of course, you know, yours truly absolutely born with it. I don't think. And that. So you get the stickers which can go on the wall. The stickers could go basically on anything. You've got the wall chart, which is absolutely super, and it really does rub off. So if you just put my thumb there, I can take that off very simply and just replace it, write it on again, using the pen, which is here. Pen comes with it, April and May. There you go. So simple. What could be better and what could be more fun? Do you know, I've got builders in at the moment, and I showed it to the builder and said, what do you think of that? He said, yeah, I think that's a bit of all right. I'd buy one. So, you know, he's just take it one stitch, one brick at a time, maybe. He should change that to bricks. But, and perhaps these things aren't quite relevant, but, you know, who knows? Wondering how the building's actually going, if he's going to... Anyway, I'll leave that to your imagination.
Don't think about it now. I love that, actually. This is what you get. I love our stickers as well, the ones for the walls, the bigger ones. Or perhaps you're just decorating your craft room. This is going to be perfect. You a £15 saving, $33.97, $899, $528. There we are. Right, now we did mention the little tins that we've got on offer. We did see them on the website as well. Here they are again. These are so pretty, aren't they? I love these. What lovely gifts as well. Set of 3 magnetic notion tins. You've got the gold pattern, the stripe and the red there. Really lovely gifts, whether you want to gift them all or gift them separately or just gift yourself. £2 saving, £9.97, 021990. Now we have got the larger tins as well for you. Now these are beautiful. We have got them in the studio as well. They are so nice. I would not want to put these away. These would definitely be on show in my craft room. Great saving on this one as well. £8 saving, $15.98. You're going to get your large storage tin bundle there for item number 434437. That's all you need. And then of course we've got the picture frames as well. 5 by 7 inches, so a great size. This is a whole bundle. You're getting both of those. Again, simplicity. You know, it just makes me think back to my childhood when I used to watch my mum sew, and she'd got all the patterns there. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she had the actual dress pattern. £8 saving, £15 and 98 pence, 705563. There we are. Right, we are super busy on the one-day special. 30% of the stock has already gone. I'm just going to remind you again, if you were going for the Sidewinder on its own, it would be $19.99. As the one-day special, we're saving you a penny and we're throwing in that pattern absolutely free. And that pattern has got so many beautiful projects on there as well. 118705. That's all you need for the item number, $19.98. She looks very, very happy with that bag, doesn't she? Great size bags and projects on here.
Yes, they are, because you've got big bags and you've got little bags and you've got in-betweeny bags.
You have.
You know, what more could you want?
Exactly.
Absolutely. And we all need a bag, particularly these days. You've got to have a bag.
Definitely. More than one. You need all of those bags. That's why they're all in one pattern. Jenny, what are we going to see
I'm going
now?
to demonstrate the circle cut because it is such a useful bit of kit.
Wonderful.
But just to go back to what you were saying about mother and sewing, my mother had one of those hand sewing machines made by a company, which I shan't mention, but other companies do have, you know, make sewing machines. And she would employ one of us to actually turn the handle, you see. So she would steer the curtains or the school frock through the machine, and one of us would have to turn it. And she used to get terribly cross if you suddenly went faster or very slowly.
I've got one of those, you know, one of those hand machines. Yeah. Is that the one that has a shuttle in it?
Yes.
That's how the bobbins work, isn't it?
And sadly, I'm afraid, if you have got one of those shuttles, it will not wind on the Simplicity Sidewinder. Every other bobbin will do, with possibly the exception of the really big brand new Bonina, because that has very different size bobbins, but all the regular size bobbins will wind on this Sidewinder.
Wonderful.
I've shown you a whole load of them, You know, what more could you want? Right, coming back to the circle cut. It would help if I had mine the right way up. The circle will do quarter circles, half circles and whole circles. That's whole with a W, not with an H. If you wanted to do a half circle, then you would use the dotty line. And it would be simply no more complex than perhaps drawing a line on your fabric. I'll just draw one here. Putting the template, so the dotty line was on the drawn line, and it's always a good idea to put a mark in the middle, put a benchmark, then you know where to come back to. So there is a nice slit in the middle for that. And then you could simply draw and then cut out by scissors, or you can use one of the smaller rotary cutters on just about every size. It is a little difficult getting it around the very small circle. So this will cut half circles. If you wanted a quarter circle, we'll simply draw a right angle, and then you can use a quarter circle because you've got that section for a quarter circle. But if you wanted to cut a whole circle, you can do it in two ways. One way of doing it is to draw a line across the middle of your piece of fabric. So draw a line across the middle of your piece of fabric. Put the template so the drawn line is on the solid thick line.
Yeah.
Make your benchmark in the middle so you know where to come back to. And then you simply draw, I'm just going to draw this because I want to cut it in a minute. Draw one size of circle, remember which one it is, flip the template round, replace it so you get the black line in the middle, your benchmark back in the slot again, and there is the other half of your perfect circle. Another way of doing it is to fold the fabric in half. I've got Bonder web on mine because I'll show you something in a moment, and then place the fold on that thick line, and then you can cut through two layers at the same time. So you will end up with half a circle. Let's just do that. Right, I've got the very small rotary cutter, which we've actually got on the show. And just cut round.
That's something else to pop into your basket if you've not got one then, especially if you're going for this template.
And in actual fact, what I'm going to do is, let's move that now. I moved it before I thought about it, is I'm going to cut another one. And I'm going to cut another one. Let's go to the 8th. Get in the right place, Jennifer. Hang on, what have I done here? Let's go round. I moved it some. It helps if you actually extend the rotary cutter. So busy shutting it up. And again, let's do this one. You can get the big 45 one round the first 4. Then it does get a bit tight for that.
Yeah.
I didn't quite cut through that properly, but just bear with, as I wasn't thinking. So I've now got a variety of circles here, which I can then use as an applique if I wanted to on the piece of work that Catherine showed you earlier in the start of the show. I didn't do that very well at all, probably because I'm standing up and at a funny angle. So just forgive me while I just exercise.
Well, you're just trimming that. Shall I show that
yes, you show that
template that you're creating there as well? And also, if you're liking the look of Jennie's fabric that she's working with now, we do have a William Morris show tomorrow at 12 o'clock. All of those fabrics will be available then. So perhaps you want to create something like this with William Morris. Absolutely beautiful. We don't have to say any more than William Morris do when we know it's going to be amazing. But the template that we're looking at now, the circles template.
Right, so coming back to that, if I can...
Oh, have you done it, Jennie?
Yes. It's only because I'm standing up and in a dither. I'm getting overexcited about things. I have a perfect circle in the middle. I've got all these various bits. All I would have to do then is actually peel the paper off. Now, top tip, folks, if ever you're going to make any form of applique using a fusible glue web, remove the paper before you lay the design out. Because otherwise you get the perfect design, and then you have to move all the design because you've got to take the paper off. So it will cut a variety of sizes of circles for you. So circles have to be round. And if they're not round, your brain will say, oh dear, it's not round. What else is wrong with this? So you could have the Olympic rings. You could do what you like with it. And all I need to do now is peel the paper off, iron it on place.
Other sporting events available, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, right, over to you, I think, now.
Okay, well, let's give you a reminder again there of the bundle. The Circles template bundle, only $29.98. You've got a £10 saving here. You've also got the Easy Dresden included in that one. 110679 is the item number. You are absolutely loving, though, the one-day special. A third of the stock has gone. I am not surprised. Now, of course, this takes batteries included. Let me just show you, actually. Just so you know, be aware of this. If you try and wind a bobbin, it's not working, make sure that you have taken the little tab out. That's all it is. Remove before use. That means the batteries are then going to make the connections and it's going to work. And Jenny, as explained at the start of the show, has tested all the different bobbins in here as well, whether it's metal, whether it's plastic, whether it's certain branded ones. For different machines, they are working with this Sidewinder. That really is so natty. It's such a good, it's not a gimmick, it is a usable, very, you know, you are definitely going to use it. You're going to keep it by the side of you. You could travel with it if you wanted to as well. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
Shut yours up. You can show them the little handle.
I will do. Jenny, as well, I'm just thinking back to the very first sewing machine I had. I'm sure I had to unwind my thread to be able to wind a bobbin as well. Is there still some machines that are like that?
Not necessarily so, but in actual fact you unwound your thread because you must only have one sort of thread on the bobbin at any one time. If you have different threads on, they have different weights and they wind on at different rates. And I can remember my mother would have bobbins that had 8, 9 different colours on them, and she'd perhaps pull off one colour to get at the other colour. No, I'm sorry, you have one thread and one thread only on your bobbins. Please do not have 10 different colours because they all wind on slightly differently and you do not get a proper wound bobbin. The other, I suppose, good thing about the Sidewinder, as it's still attached to my plastic bottle, is that not only is it easy to carry, easy to pack away, but it will make a very good gift.
It would,
so if you're thinking about a gift for somebody who is a sewer or a stitcher and has got just about everything, one of these, and then you can keep the pattern, or of course you can always give the pattern away and keep this as well, would actually be ideal.
Do you know, I love that idea. Use it as a gift. I didn't even know that these existed. This is the first time I've seen the Sidewinder. Remember, individually that would be $19.99. We're offering you the one-day special at $19.98, so a penny less, but you're getting the pattern as well. So that's absolutely free. And you've still got that penny change. 118705. We are very busy on that. I am not surprised. Treat yourself to that. If you've not seen it before, do you know what? That is worth every single penny, isn't it? Right, Jenny, I think we're coming back to you.
We are. We're going to do the Petal Pattern. Well, one last thing about the Sidewinder. The reason why you hadn't seen it before was for quite some years it wasn't present. It's only recently come back again. So that's why it just wasn't around. And I used to say to Jeremy, whose the company it is, say, where's the bobbin winder? Oh, we haven't got it at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do the petal pattern. And at the back here, I have various samples. So let me just collect the various samples of the petal pattern. Okay, petal pattern. There is a petal pattern as a table mat. Okie dokie. There is a petal pattern that's been fussy cut as a cushion cover, because you can see through it and you can fussy cut it. Notice the flower in the middle hides a multitude of things.
That is so effective, isn't it?
Here is the petal pattern used as a placemat, so you could use it as a placemat. Here is the petal pattern used as the centre of a small quilt.
Oh,
with a Suffolk puff in the middle.
That is
of course,
beautiful.
it's my, as far as I'm concerned, the piecing was accurate, but maybe the Suffolk puff hides perhaps a slight wobbling in the seams, who knows? And then here is the petal pattern used as a tablecloth. So think the summer, strawberries and cream.
Ooh.
So there we've got that, and I've used 2 of the petal patterns to make a heart shape.
Oh, that works so well,
yes,
doesn't it?
Yes. So there you are, strawberries and cream. Right, so how do we do the petal pattern? Well, for a start, your petal pattern will actually come as a clear see-through shape. I have had this quite a long time, and originally they used to come in a colour, which was a bit of a pain because you couldn't see through it quite so clearly, but you will get a nice clear see-through one. When it comes to doing the petal pattern, and incidentally, have you got, yes, I wonder if the camera can go to the shape, the pink and blue thing that's on the top of the end
the
rack.
cushion. If we can't, I can grab it. I think we're going to find it.
I think
that's
they found
very pretty.
it. Right.
Here
There
we go.
is the petal pattern.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
Now
I like
that's
that
got an idea in it from the Creative Tucks and Textures book, because the petal pattern itself is a separate shape. And if you've got a shape and you're joining it together in a seam, you can put something in the seam. So I'll come to how that's made in just a second. Let me just
have
show
a look
you
at all the books, everybody, by the way. We've
Sorry?
got those. We've got the books available, haven't we?
Right. When it comes to petal pattern shape itself, you've got the whole shape, which I've just cut round, but you can use smaller pieces. And on the outside edge here, if you want to have a smaller section, you just use part of the arc. So you can have different sizes of your petal shapes. It is easy to fussy cut it. And indeed, you'll see on the 12 o'clock show tomorrow, I have used it very carefully on the William Morris fabric and come up with something I'm actually rather pleased with. So if you're going to use the entire shape, you will end up with a piece that looks like this. If you wanted to use less, you simply cut out a smaller shape and then slide this down and cut the arc from there, all right? So to make a whole petal pattern shape or the flower, you'll need 8 pieces, and you could alternate the colours, etc., etc. So we would take 8 pieces. I would then, with the 8, is stitch them together in sets of 2. So as soon as I sew 2 together, there's a heart shape.
It's a perfect heart, isn't
You
it,
see?
as well?
So in sets of 2, so you would take your sets of 2 and you sew 2 sets of 2 together. Now, I would press the seams open and flat. And it deliberately comes with a flat end here, so you haven't got to cut a little ear off, and it will actually save you a bit of fabric. Very useful. So when you've got them into pairs, you can then stitch 2 pairs together to make a half. So here we have half the flower. And there's 1 half there, and you repeat with the other 4 sections, and you do the other half. And then you simply match them up in the middle. Now, because the thing is accurate, you should get in the very center a neat crossover where the colors interchange here. And the base of this, or the bottom of the points there, is actually the top of the shapes, which if you press your seam open and flat, you can actually see on the back. So it gives you a guideline of where to stitch through. You will then put the 2 pieces right sides together, sew along there, and hopefully when you've done it, it will come out looking something like this. Now, how are you going to finish it off?
Is that?
Well,
Lovely.
you could just lay it down, pin it down well, stitch very closely to the edge, either by hand or machine, and satin stitch over the raw edge. Or you could use the trick I have used on many occasions, is the interfacing trick, where you cut a piece of interfacing slightly bigger, place the interfacing on the right side, and sew all the way around, dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, round the scallop. And when you've done that, it would pay you to trim back any excess interfacing back to the edge, clip it on the corners here, slit the interfacing, and then you simply turn the thing through. And when you turn it through, the interfacing will pull the seam to the back and make it nice and neat, and you haven't had to have any kerfuffle of turning the raw edge over. So that would pull the seam to the back.
That's
Give it a
really
good press,
clever.
and it can be mounted onto whatever you want to mount it onto. But you could say to yourself, does the petal pattern shape have to be cut from 1 piece of fabric? And the answer to that is no. Why not cut it out of a piece of
that's
fabric
nice.
made out of 2 colours? So we could fussy cut it, we could cut it out of different colours, you could have it out of more stripes than that, you could play with it. But what if you wanted to do the cushion that was at the back of Catherine's? Well, the answer to that is you need some squares. And I happen to be using 4.5-inch squares here, which strangely enough is the same size as that little template you've got on the bundle on the show. If you take these squares and you fold them in half, and if it's got a right side, it's right side on the inside, one then proceeds to sew, which I'll just do rapidly now. Set your machine for 1/4 inch. It actually wouldn't matter if you didn't sew 1/4 inch as long as you happen to be consistent. So you need to take the same thing off the side of each of the squares. So you sew down one side of the square and one side of the square only. I've lost my donkey. There you are, donkey. Having done that, it would pay you to clip the point off the seam. And what I do like to do then is flatten the seam, finger press it, before turning it right side out. And when you turn it right side out, you will want something to poke the tip out. And the blunt end of a barbecue skewer actually is remarkably useful. So just give it a gentle poke. Don't worry too much about it, because you can pick the point out 10 years down the line. Then all that happens is you take 2 of the pieces and stitch them together with this shape stuffed in the seam. So there we are. Put it there, raw edges all together. Now, where you position it actually doesn't matter too much, but I'd set it back a fraction from the end there. So not right on the end because it gets too bulky in the seam. So pull it back a little bit, say 1/4 inch. You might want to stick a pin in it. Now, notice I've got the raw edges here.
Yeah.
The long side is actually going towards the centre of the flower. Okay. If you look at it as being a mountain, you could ski down the mountain and arrive at the centre. Say it's the lake in the middle there. Nobody's going to have it this way round because that wouldn't be skiing down the mountain. That would be instant death, which you don't want.
I love it.
Sorry, Catherine, this is how I conduct my classes. Right, pin it. Remember, pins go at right angles to the seam. Other Charlie goes on top, right sides together. Proceed in orderly fashion from the centre out. Seam allowance now needs to be 1/4 inch. Make my stitching a bit longer. Remember to remove the pins as you get to them. Remove the pins, remove the pins. Rescue the donkey. My sewing machine seems to have got further and further away from me at the moment. That's it. And there is my shape stuffed in the seam. And how you make it look like what Catherine showed you is you lift him up, squish him forward. Why they're male, I do not know, but there you go. Squash it forward. What do you think of the show so far? Rubbish.
It is like a little beak, isn't it?
Open it out, and
wow.
there is your petal shape, you see? So think, this doesn't have to be just sewn together, boom, boom, boom. If you've got a seam, you can put something in the seam. You can play. You could do it from all sorts of different colours. You could use up all your scraps. You could do a crazy one. It's easy. Just sew round it. 2 make a heart, 8 make a flower. 4 of them make that rather nice thing that you see above doorways. What do you call it, the thing you see above doorways? You know, that sort of archway?
Oh.
Yes, the fan shape above a door. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yep, one of these. Like that above the door. So
we need to find out now because that's going to bug me.
One of those above the door, all right? Can you see? There is the door, the doorway, all right? There you go. And if you make a mess in the middle, the circle cut would be wonderful to cut a circle out, and if you have really made a mess, you could have a very big circle. Would be a little silly.
And if your circle's perfect, Jenny, nobody's going to think there's something funny going on there. Let's have a look at these templates again. Do you know, the more you see these, the more you realise the possibilities as well. We're very busy for these. You've got the petal shapes, you've also got the 45-degree triangle there as well. Only £9.98. You've got an £8 savings, 704-779 is the item number. Now, don't forget, we have got books and DVDs as well. So if you are looking for inspiration, of course, you've got the options here. We've got Daisy Delights, and we've also got Easy Peasy Patchwork for you there as well. The fact that you're getting books and DVDs for £14.98 there, again, just a fraction under half price because you've got £15 saving, 393-326 is the item number. Now, we've also got for you texture and Sudoku, is that
Oh, yes. Would you like to see the quilt? I have the quilt.
Have you got them, Jenny?
Yes.
Oh, marvellous.
I'll
We've got the
endeavour
books and the DVDs as well for that same price of £14.98, 869-993. And we've got I Taught Myself to Sew. Now, this is a bundle. This is from Simplicity. There we are. Jenny's got lovely samples to show us in a second as well. £14.98. Do you know, I'm taken aback by some of these prices. £16 saving on this one, 198,359. So Jenny, what have you got there?
Right, this is the Texan Sudoku quilt. The actual, I won't show you for just 2 seconds, you just have to wait. The actual design makes up 9 different shapes, which you can see more clearly if I get this out, because it doesn't always pick up the colour.
Oh, Jenny.
So 9 different designs. That's what's on the DVD. You could use the 9 different designs to make a cushion. You could use the 9 different designs and make 9 of each of the 9 different designs, and you get the Sudoku quilt, which is where the idea came from. So this is the Sudoku quilt.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Okie dokie. And
so if Jenny's arms were a little bit longer as well, we'd see what's on the bottom of it. I don't know if you can just sort of hold that up,
I'll
Jenny.
hold it up a bit. I'll fold it in half.
Worth seeing.
I'm trying to avoid the microphone.
Look at that.
It's got the 9. Well, you see, the whole reason for this, Catherine, was there's a question mark, okay? And the question mark is 1 block missing. Now, there's a little hook there. you could complete the Sudoku by collecting the relevant one from the bottom, because they're all stitched on, and they've all got little eyes on them to correspond with the little hook, you see.
How clever.
But they've all got them on. So it's no good thinking, I'll find the one that's got the eye on it to hook it on the hook, because I have a warped sense of humour, sorry folks. But no, this was a quilt. And everyone said, isn't it a wonderful quilt? We want to know how to make it. Well, the answer to that is buy the DVD.
All that, I can't get over the prices, seriously. Look at the price there again. If you want to go for that bundle, books and DVDs, you're getting both of what you're seeing there. 869993 is the item number. Now, we haven't got long left of this hour, actually. We're over a third of the one-day special gone. We're going to get back to Jennie if we can, because we want to see more from her. But, you know, check your baskets out on this one. Do not miss out on the Sidewinder. You are getting the pattern absolutely free, because the Sidewinder on its own would be $19.99. So we're kind of throwing that in for nothing, that pattern. In fact, we're still giving you the spare 1 pence as well. £8 saving, 118705. Make sure you've got yours. It really is going to be a friend in your craft room or your sewing room, that's for sure. Right, busy show, Jennie.
Yes, isn't it?
You've shown us the most beautiful samples.
Let me show you the Daisy Delight quilt, because this happens to be, oops, in fully over my own feet. There we are, there's the Daisy Delight quilt.
Look at this. How stunning is that?
And they've already seen how you make the shape. And you do get the template comes in. If you didn't want to do all of that, you could actually make just one.
Oh,
you know, see?
I love this design.
It's very good.
Jennie, do you ever keep track of what you make and how many quilts you've actually made and cushions you... Do you keep count?
No. In fact, before I came here, because we had so many samples, I was going through all the stuff, and you know, I'm sure I had one like that. And trouble is, I give things away every so often. I sort of job them off and give them to Linus or something like that, and then of course I want them. But no, I have made an awful lot of stuff, and when I eventually depart this earthly coil, my son is just going to say, "Oh God, look at it all," because there's a wall that size full of quilts.
I think there needs to be a Jennie Raymond museum. That's what I think. Let's get a petition going now. We need to make that happen.
Right, I was going to show you the half square, the small version of the half square triangle and the mini square. We bundle that up and stuff it down the bottom there.
Okay, we've got about 5 minutes, Jennie.
Right, okay. Well, this is a very quick whip through. One of the ideas is also on the Easy Peasy Patchwork DVD, which comes with the Daisy Delight or whatever it was. And that is to make the star. Right, this is not my best choice of fabrics, because that's a little bit too strong and this is a little bit too weak. But you could use a variety of different colours. And this is basically half square triangles and squares. And then you can use the strip ruler to cut the border that goes around the edge. Now, the good thing about the strip ruler is it's a 2.5-inch ruler. So, you know, it fits on those design rolls, etc., etc. Jolly good width for any border. 2.5 inches will end up as 2 inches when you've added your seams, or when you've done your seams. So how does, and let's deal with this particular easy angle work, because it is very simple. Now, the easy angle is multi-sizes. You will be able to cut half square triangles from 1 inch up to 4.5 inches. Bear in mind that the size of strip that you cut, the end result will be 1/2 inch smaller. So if you cut a 4.5-inch strip, when you've done the sewing, you will end up with a 4-inch square made up of 2 half square triangles. Okay, so these measurements along here include your seam allowance. So if I was going to want 4-inch squares, if I took a couple of 4.5-inch strips, I could cut out 2 half square triangles from that, sew them together, and they would make a 4.5-inch square, raw edge to raw edge, which would be 4 inches when finished. Okay, have you got that sort of fairly tucked into your head? So that's the maximum size it will go to. For the design I'm going to show you, I've got a 3.5-inch strip. So put the template on the fabrics. Now, if you want to top tip, put the 2 fabrics right sides together to begin with, because then your triangles are all together, easy to sew. So place the template on there. It's a 3.5-inch strip, 3.5 inches. You all know the answer, that when I've done all the sewing, sewn them together, finished them on the outside edge, I will end up with a 3-inch square. Right, so cut. Now, when you cut your first set of triangles, you will notice that one end is missing its point. Shock, horror. Oh dear, is this wrong? No, the template is carefully designed that it's just trimmed off one of the dog ears or the little ears, and in actual fact this will save you 3/8 of an inch fabric. On the other end of the template there's a black section. So how this works is you now flip the template over. There's no moving the fabric. You flip the template, rearrange it on the 3.5 inch line there, and the little black bit hangs off the bottom. Cut up the edge of the template. There we go. And that will be exactly the same in appearance as the other set, all right? So it saved you one lot of cutting off dog ears, and it saved you 3/8 of an inch. And if you simply stitch down here, you will end up with a square. So I'm just going to sew down there just to prove it to you, and to prove it ends up as a 3.5 inch square, raw edge to raw edge. So remember, you'll be sewing a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is all added into the template. So providing you sew an accurate seam allowance, you cannot go wrong. Should you deviate, well, dear, dear, dear. Careful, the quilt police will be after you. They don't exist, by the way, so it's a complete myth.
So there is my half square, Jenny, just to give you a time check.
In that case, you might have to wait for the finished design. So there's your 3.5 inch square. Press the seam open and flat. Right, what could you do with it? Well, the design that I've got here would take 8 half square triangles using 2 different colours for the outside, and 4 half square triangles using 2 different colours for the middle. And fairly simply, a quick way of arranging these could be to take my centre ones and arrange these so that I get a square in the middle, if I fancied that. Or I could actually turn them round and get a pinwheel. So let's just have a very quick pinwheel. Totally always a challenge with doing pinwheels. The only way I can do it is put it right side on top and give it a turn through 180 degrees. There you go. So I could have a pinwheel. These could then be stitched together to form a centre block. And if I was going to do that, I do 2 together, 2 together. I'm going to have to speed up because we'll run out of time. Like that. Notice my seam allowance is here and here. Please press your seams open and flat. Join those 2 together. You've got your middle.
Amazing.
You could now arrange the other 8 around the outside, and they could be arranged like this. Give us a time check, please,
30
Catherine.
seconds, Jenny. We're going to take it to the wire.
This is one way. You'll have to wait because there's 4 other shows to go, and I've got a whole load of other things to do. So there's your half square triangles, and then to finish the design off, we could do this. And
Make
this.
sure you come back at 8 o'clock to see more of Jenny.
And then you'll just have to wait till tomorrow to see how you actually turn that into this.
Another cliffhanger. Wow, another cliffhanger. Jenny, thank you so, so much. Check your baskets out. We're very busy, especially in the one-day special. In fact, we're busy across the board. Check